Hello. I'm going to give it a few more minutes for people to come on. I hope that everyone can see me okay. I am actually sitting on top of a hill here in Rancho Palos Verdes. It's beautiful today. It's actually overcast, but it kind of looks really, really nice. So I'm just going to give it a few more minutes for people to come on. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Stacey Herrera, and I am a sensuality midwife. I help women to enjoy their bodies, live delicious lives, and create conscious relationships. Today, I'm going to be talking about 3 magical ingredients to have your happily ever after. Yes, I am talking romantic love and relationships. And, so often when we think about happily ever after, we really do believe that it's supposed to be without challenge, that we're supposed to everything's supposed to be all lovely all the time. But that is just not realistic. It's just not realistic. But there are 3 things that I believe that are really, really important in order to have a happy, healthy relationship. So in order to create your happily ever after, and I'm going to give you those 3 tips now. So the number one thing that you need in order to have a happy, healthy relationship is disagreements. I know you didn't expect me to say that. Yes, you need to disagree in a healthy way. Now, notice I said disagree and not argue, because a disagreement is not the same as an argument. But you do need to have a healthy amount of disagreement in your relationship. And the reason is because when you disagree with someone, it actually gives you an opportunity to expand your own perspective about whatever the subject matter is. So whatever the thing is that you're disagreeing about, when you disagree, it gives you an opportunity to expand your own horizons. It also gives you an opportunity to solidify whatever your beliefs are, so to root deeply in them. And also just it offers a different perspective. And it's really important to be able to disagree in a healthy way. For myself, one of the things that is important to me in a relationship, more so than how we get along, which is important. I love, of course I want to get along with my partner, but I also really want to be with someone that is able to disagree in a healthy way, because it doesn't have to be ugly. It doesn't have to look like name calling and bashing and being mad for days or anything like that. A healthy disagreement just simply is like, my point of view is different than your point of view, and we can talk about those different things because it creates dialogue without it being an angry, bashing of a thing. So that doesn't have to happen. So when you disagree in a healthy way, though, it actually strengthens the bond, and it actually gives you something to admire about your partner, because there's something that's so attractive about someone that stands firm in whatever their belief is. But there's something equally attractive about someone that is open-minded enough to shift perspective when need be. So that's the one thing, disagreeing. Now, if you're in a relationship and you don't disagree, that doesn't mean that your relationship is healthy. It probably means that one person isn't talking, one or both people, because disagreeing is just part of the human experience. So you should have a healthy level of disagreement in your relationship. The second thing that's important to have, the second magical ingredient to happily ever after, is hobbies and interests. You need to have a life outside of your partner. You need to be able to have hobbies and interests and things that you enjoy, things that light you up, that maybe your partner doesn't enjoy those things. That's okay. It also gives you space to introduce your partner to things that maybe he or she wouldn't explore otherwise, but it also helps you to have something that's just for you, and it gives you dialogue to have with your partner when you come back together. So you need to have hobbies and interests and things that light you up, that are not necessarily things that you enjoy or actually do together with your partner. It's okay to have a life, and not only is it okay, it's important. It's vital to have a life outside of your relationship. So you need to have things that you enjoy, and they don't have to always be the same things. Like maybe you stumble upon some new things that you enjoy through your friends, different hobbies and different things that light you up, things that maybe you didn't know before, because as you change and grow, which you are constantly changing and growing, so will the things that you are interested in. So those are really important, that there should be some things that you do separate from your relationships, things that you guys can talk about together, things that are important to you, things your partner should have the same. He or she should also have interests and hobbies that are separate from you. And then there are all those lovely things that you do together, because when you're a couple with someone, there's plenty of things that you do together, things that you enjoy and explore together, but there should also be something that's separate. And then the last thing, the third magic ingredient to happily ever after is sensuality. Of course, I'm a sensuality midwife, so of course I'm going to say sensuality. But when I say sensuality, notice I didn't say sex. Now, sensuality is part of sex. It's part of the sexual experience, but it is not the entirety of the sexual experience. I'm going to give you an example of what it can look like when there is no sensuality in your relationship. I recently went to a meetup, a lovely meetup with some people that I didn't know. I had never been to this meetup, so I didn't know anyone there. And I had this really lovely conversation with this gentleman, and he was a business owner, and he had been married for a while, and they had 2 young children, and he was happy, but he said that his sex drive was low. Consequently, he and his wife weren't having sex very often. And he said, it's a whole thing. And then I have to take a shower. So sometimes I just rather, do it really quickly and by myself. And then I don't have to be bothered. And even though my wife's complaining, but he's like, my sex drive has never been high. I'm sure that it doesn't help that he works all the time. So of course he's having, a low drive. But what I offered him was, who said that sensuality or sexuality is just about intercourse? I was like, what about the rest of her body? What about the rest of your body? Your entire body is wired to feel. So, and all of your senses, from your sight to your nose to your taste buds and sound and touch, all of these things are part of the sensual experience, and they should all be part of your relationship. So sex doesn't have to just be about sex. It's about exploration. You could play around with color and texture. You can play around with scent. You can actually explore your partner's body from head to toe without ever having sex. And it could just be an intense, beautiful, delicious turn on, which every relationship should have. If you are not touching one another, and I'm not just talking about that good morning, good night, goodbye kiss. But if you're not really touching and exploring each other's body, you're missing out, and it will infuse something delicious and beautiful into your relationship. So those are my 3 magical ingredients for happily ever after. So you need to, 1, have healthy disagreements. 2, you need to have hobbies and interests outside of your relationship. And 3, you need to infuse your relationship with sensuality. Sorry about that. I got a phone call. But if you're looking to enhance your relationship experience and you want to go deeper and you want to maybe improve the way you show up to not just your romantic relationships, but every relationship, I invite you to explore and play with me in Relationship Roundtable. Relationship Roundtable is a 4-week interactive conversation series. It's very intimate. It's open only to 7 women. And we will be talking about everything from love and connection to withholding love and core wounds. It's just really juicy and delicious. And it's really nice to be in a space where you can speak freely about things that are really intimate with you, and knowing that it's a safe space for you to share. So if you'd like to do that, I'm going to put the link in the comments, but the link is actually staceyherrera.com/relationship roundtable. I look forward to seeing you there. Bye.